Okay, so let's carry on with this 372. We're going to infect the Windows machine with some fake malware that will just demonstrate, things that real malware does. And then we can detect that infection with Velociraptor. So here's my Windows machine. I'll just go to samsclass.info in here so I can just download it easily on this machine. Go to the class. This thing is, oh, there we go. No, it's just still loading the page. All right. Let me make this window big. All right. And there we are. It's moving kind of slow, but you can't have everything. All right. Securing critical infrastructure is good. Okay. And projects. And all right. 372. Here we go. All right. So we've already disabled Windows Defender. And here's the pup. This thing called pup4.zip. Download that. Okay. Now, it's a archive. So extract all. Extract. And as is customary in the business, if you have malware, you extract it with the password malware. You compress it so nobody will accidentally unpack this. Anybody that unpacks it has apparently an understanding that the stuff is malware. So go in here. And so there's two things here. You run pup4 as administrator. So this is run as administrator, and then Windows will give you a lot of warnings. You have to bypass them all. Right. More info and run anyway. Elevate to administrator. And it should pop up a box, I think, and okay. I think there it popped up some command line and did something. I think that's good. And now I need to move pup4 message to the root of C. All right, now I have to approve that. Okay, and now that I'm done, I delete everything that I made, just pup4, throw in the trash, which is here, and throw this pup4 folder in the trash. All right, and then empty the recycle bin. So we've removed all traces of this thing, is the idea. Or at least most of it. All right, so now this machine should be infected. And to see it, you just want to restart your Windows machine. And it might put on Windows updates. We'll see if that happens. All right, I'm just going to restart anyway. And then I will lose remote control here, which is expected because I'm not running it locally on this machine. I'm connected by RDP. So I see it restarting on the other screen here. And I'll reconnect by RDP as soon as it restarts. Hopefully it's not going to go through a lengthy update process. We'll see. Don't know if you can see it here. Yeah, it's there. It's loading the Windows desktop. Playing a happy sound. All right, maybe I can connect now. Good, it looks like it is ready to connect again. Good, here we are. Okay. Now it ought to pop up a box, and it ought to, in fact, ask for permission to pop up a box at the blazing speed of Windows. Good. Here it is doing things. This is something Microsoft added in Windows XP when people complained that Windows 2000 took too long to boot up. They engineered it so it shows you the desktop before it's actually finished starting up. So it appears to load faster. But it's in fact still launching the startup things. No, making me a little nervous. Task manager. Right, CPU at 100%. So it is still doing things. Oh, it's running Splunk on here still. That's going to slow it down. I'm not sure my malware infection worked. It should have launched a irritating box here.
It didn't for me.
It did not, or it did?
It did not.
Hmm.
It did for me.
But it took quite a while for it to actually pop up.
Yeah, maybe
No,
I just have to
mine
wait.
was fast.
That's what I feel. I think this Splunk is probably not helping. I wonder if I can remove Splunk. That would be good. Let me try add remove programs here. If I go to control panel and add or remove programs, the Splunk is really slowing it down. There's Splunk. We can get rid of that. That's big and heavy. It runs real slow on Windows. And here it is. It is loading the malware there. This is the box you'll see. It's trying to load it, and you have to say, don't always ask, and run. And then it will not ask that again. But that is the malware running. And it's just what people said. It just takes a lot longer than you'd think, like a whole minute or two for Windows to actually get going. There, it pops up the box. Your window is pwned. Your machine is pwned. And all right. And I'm going to see if I can let this Splunk uninstall go just to like make the machine run faster. It's yeah, this is Task Manager. This is very common that Windows is running at 100% doing something useless. Anyway, I can actually let it continue to try to uninstall. I've achieved the goal. The Windows machine is now infected, and this is the start of your response. Some user in your network complains that some funny box is popping up, and that's all you know, and they're like in another state. You can't get to their machine, so you're going to control it from Velociraptor. So I'm going to minimize this, and let's take it over from Velociraptor. So I should have a Velociraptor control panel, and I do, and I should be able to go to Show All, and find my Windows machine and go there and go to collected. And like I'm going to run netstat again just to make sure everything's working. There it shows ready to run. And it should run. I imagine this time here is just because the Windows machine is running slowly with Splunk using up all the CPU. Yeah. This Windows machine is just kind of burdened and slow.
So do you have to delete the folder of the malware?
No, leave it there. We're going to investigate it and clean it up here. So the user complains, okay, netstat ran, so it's okay. All right, so what we're going to do, we are eventually going to remove the malware, but first we're going to analyze it from a distance. So now that you're in here, we connect to the client, and the first thing is auto runs. The first thing you know about the malware is when you restart the machine, the box pops up. So that means it's an automatically running thing, and auto runs is the Microsoft tool to find everything that automatically launches on your machine. So let's run that. Auto runs Windows sysinternals auto runs. I'll just launch that, and it will go to the Windows machine, and it will tell me everything that is automatically launching on this machine, which will be, I think, hundreds of things. But right now, I don't have any information other than the box pops up and I can see the readable text in the box. So I don't know what process is making that box run. So here it is, running an external command to run auto runs on there. And it's going to eventually return, I think, 1,400 rows of stuff. Here it is. You spent 30 seconds running. One thing about Velociraptor is it will only run a command and give it a limited time, like maybe 2 minutes or something, and then it'll give up. So it won't tie up your client machines trying to do something that's taking too long. But it works. Aha, the CPU came down. Oh, good. Installation failed. Okay, that's right. 3 of these is normal for Splunk. And now it should finish uninstalling Splunk, which will make this machine run a little better. Good. And let's see if this thing is getting any progress. 1,361 run. Okay, it now gave me the 1,361 automatically running things here. And that's too much information to easily process. So I'm going to download the file into the CSV and then open it in some other product. So I can download the results here as a CSV file, which is what I'll do. And there it is. I'll save that in my downloads folder and save. And now I'll open that folder, which is here. Okay, there it is. All right. And so I'm just going to open it in a text editor. That's probably the easiest way to do it. I could also open, let me open it in a spreadsheet first, because I can show you some good tricks here. So this will open it in the Macintosh spreadsheet. If you have Excel, that would be fine on Windows, but here I have the Mac version of it called Numbers. Okay, so here's a spreadsheet. And so it shows you registry keys and entries here, but the most important thing for us is going to be the company field. And let me find, here's my horizontal scroll bar. Okay, this company field that says Microsoft and such, that is the signature. What company signed this product? And that's the most important thing. I want to sort by company. So I'm going to select everything with Windows A and then organize, sort entire table by company. All right, that should do it. Okay, now, see, here's things signed by Fraunhofer, Insecure, Com, Microsoft, and so on. So things that are signed by Microsoft, I think that you can assume that's not malware. And really, things signed by any legitimate company is probably not malware. So really, the only suspicious things are these things at the end that are not signed at all. And there's only about 100 of them. So here's processes that are kind of disturbing. So let's go up to the top and see what else we can use here. This is the image path. So just the company and the image path alone is enough to kind of track down a candidate for what's causing this problem. I want something that's not signed at all. And look at the image path. Some of these have no path, but one of them has a suspicious path. And there it is, C pup4 message, something launching from the root of C, which is not a normal place for an executable to be, and it's not signed. So I suspect that this might be the bad process. That's the idea here. So that's the first result of my investigation. And now I can also find out why it's automatically launching. All these are here because they automatically launch. And so if I just scroll to the left, it will show you that this is in the registry in the run key. HKey local machine, Windows on Windows 6432 node, because it's 32-bit code running on a 64-bit machine, and it's in the run key, Windows current version run. That is a key in the registry that will make things automatically launch every time you restart your machine. So I now have a suspicion of which process is causing that box, but I haven't proven it. So now that I have found a suspicious one, I'm going to get the MD5 of that process to see if it's known malware. So I'm going to do PS list. So I collect PS list to get a list of running processes. Now, if I run it, by default, it'll give me all the running processes, and there will be hundreds of them. But now I know the name of the executable is pup4 message, so I can configure parameters and only get running processes that contain the word pup in the name. So I put pup here. And therefore, I won't get a huge amount of branchers. I'll just get information about the one I care about. And there it goes. Here's information, pup4 message.exe. It is running. And here I have the MD5 hash. So I could take the MD5 hash and the SHA-1 hash and send it up to VirusTotal or something and see if this is known malware. I'm not going to bother doing that because I know I wrote it. It's not known malware, I imagine. But this is the next step, see if this thing is a known malicious file. All right, the next thing would be, let's harvest the memory from that file because I really don't know that this process is drawing that box on the screen. But I can find out because if it is, the memory of this running process will include that message. So I'm going to do a process dump. I was very happy when I found out you could do this. Let me get rid of this spreadsheet. There we go. All right, so I'm going to do process dump. There, Windows memory process dump. And again, I just want to dump the process that has pup in the name, not notepad, but pup. And there's only one such process, so that should be enough to uniquely identify it. And if I look at the log, it should show me what progress it's waiting to run. Okay, there it is doing something. And it's got one row. I think it's already done. If I look at results, it did make a file called dump18 blah blah .dump. And I can see the uploaded file here. And I can download it onto this Mac machine, which is an okay place to put it. However, I'd like to analyze it on my Debian machine, and it is already on my Debian machine. So let me I can move it to Debian for safe analysis, but it should already be on here somewhere. So I'm going to do the trick I did earlier. I'm going to do sudo find slash minus and then pipe grep dump. And let's see what I find. This might do it. Yeah, here's something called dump in var temp velociraptor clients. This looks like where it's putting things. So once again, I've done this more than once on this machine. So I'm going to find the most recent one here, ls-l in that folder. Okay, here's the one from 1843. That's the new one. So it's this CA0 is the one I want. CA0710. They both seem to have that. Collections. All right. Let me go. It's one of these two. Let me try doing directory of this. ls-l of that. Okay, and here's the latest one, 908. It's this one, CTC SDS. So let's do this again. I look for one that is CTC SDS. This is the one. Okay, this is the latest one I dumped, this ridiculous path. So I'll copy that, and I'm going to do copy that to mem.dump in my local directory so I can find it. I know what I'm doing. And the problem is it's got a space in the file name. So I have to backslash out that space. There. Now if I do ls-l, I have a local file called mem.dump. Okay, and now you can analyze. I just want to look at the strings in that file. However, Microsoft doesn't use ASCII. They use an old form of Unicode using 16 bits for each character. So you have to do strings minus EL. And you can install strings with binutils if you don't have it on your Debian machine. So strings, if I do strings on mem, then I'll get a whole bunch of junk, but it's not going to have the good stuff. I need to do minus EL to get the long strings, 16 bits per character. And then it'll have a lot of stuff, again, too much to look through. So I'm going to filter it with grep and look for pwned. Because remember, the information I have from the client complaining is that this irritating box popped up, and the box says your machine is pwned by somebody. I'd like to get there. Your machine is pwned. So that should be in their strings. And there it is. So now I have proven that this running process is the one creating that box. That's the step here. So now I know. Now the next question is, how many files on this box are participating in this infection? So there might be other files on the box that contain that word pwned. So we're going to use Yara to do this. Yara is a very common tool to scan through files to see if they have like suspicious things in them like this. So it's going to be Yara. And it's Windows search Yara. I configure the parameters, and it'll search all kinds of files, exe, text, dil, and so on. In this case, I just want to search for exes, just to make the search faster. So there, that's exe. And here's what it's going to search for. I want to search for pwned. Now, I could leave it the way it is, but I know it's capital, so I don't need the no case. That would be uppercase and lowercase. And I know it's not ASCII, it's wide characters. So I don't really need to do these searches. I know it has that word in 16-bit characters. So this will search to see if other things on the box are part of this infection. So I launch this. Now it's having to search every file on the Windows box. So this is a kind of a big job, but it runs pretty fast. And see, here it goes, accessing these files using the path to directly refer to them in the NTFS path. And so it's running, it's found there's found one file. It's already found it, it's already done. Much faster than I expected. It's done, there was only one file, and the only file is the one in the root of C, because remember, we deleted all the rest. So the infection does seem to consist of only this one file. So now, I think we're done. Yeah, we're ready for remediation. Now we figured it out. We figured out why it launches. There's a registry run key. We figured out what executable is launched, and we know what running process is making the box. So remediation is to just kill the running process, delete the registry key, and delete that file. Now, you can try to remediate it at a distance here. In principle, you can execute commands on a Windows box. What you do is and the top left, show all, click the green, and then the shell button. So I'm going to show all, then hit the green client ID, and there's a shell button up here. You can execute commands one by one on your box. Let me clear these old ones. All right. So now you can have a shell, and you can have either a PowerShell or a CMD shell, or a Velociraptor query language shell, which is how they write these artifacts, which I've never used. So I have 3 commands to execute here, which would clean it off. This will kill the running process. So let's try that. And let me move this so we can see the Windows box while this is happening. There's the Windows box. So you can see that irritating pop-up. So let's execute this one, which should kill that process. Task kill. Okay, so I launch that. It shows up down here. If I hit the I, it will show me the output. There was no output, and it did not kill the process. This is actually a topic of debate in the Velociraptor development community. See, this thing here could be used to do all sorts of malicious things, so they have limited what you can do from the shell commands. So this one doesn't work. We're going to find out that trying to remediate it from a distance in this way is not going to work too well. Probably a better way to remediate it would be to write a script and push it out with like group policy. But anyway, now I'm going to execute this one. This is the one that removes the registry key. All right, I'm going to launch that one. And now here it is, registry delete. Now I should see output from that one there. I see output from that one. So the registry key delete, it let me do, which is interesting. This shell has strange limitations. I can't kill a process, but I can delete a registry key. And there's a third remediation command here, which is to delete the file, the executable file. And I can launch that one too. And that's interesting. Now it said it deleted the file successfully. In the past, I've seen it fail. Anyway, all right. So that didn't really stop the infection, but it does. There's a flag you can find here. That was interesting. See what you can do. Now, to actually clean off the malware, you have to execute those same commands on the box in an administrator command prompt, which I'll do just for completeness and also to clean up this machine for the next project. CMD, run as administrator. I just want to do the same three things here. The task kill, I think, is the only one that really needs to be done. It looks like the other two worked from Velociraptor. It also looks like copy and paste is not working here. All right. I'll open up the instructions inside the Windows box and do it from there. Copy and paste should work, but you know, it's Microsoft. Everything is sort of hit or miss. All right, so task kill should actually get rid of the box. Let me copy that, and let's move everything out of the way so we can see the irritating box. There it is. There's the box. This should get rid of that box. And it does. Okay, that's the task kill. And this should delete the registry key, which will probably just result in an error because I think we already did this remotely from Velociraptor. Right, it couldn't find the key. And this will delete the file, which I think may also result in an error because this time that seemed to work from Velociraptor, although it didn't work last time I did it because they're still changing versions. Okay, so now that cleans off the infection. And that's it for this project. That's what I wanted to show you. All right, so let me stop this recording.
All right.